Now we're diving into the fascinating world of alcohol-based herbal extracts and also fluid extracts and tinctures. Now, this is useful for you when you're preparing for your workshop when you come onto campus. So it's very exciting. So let's get started with some terminology. So a tincture is a mixture of alcohol and also water, and it's used to extract plant compounds. The ratio is typically 1 part dried plant to 3 parts or more of the solvent, which would be a 1 in 5 or a 1 in 10 ratio. While a fluid extract is more concentrated, with a ratio of 1 to 2 or stronger. The menstruum is the liquid that results from the plant matter when it's placed in the solvent, and the mark is the leftover plant material after straining. Now let's look at how we make these fluid extracts. You'll see here in this slide there is a formulation that we use when we're trying to formulate how much of the alcohol in the menstruum we use for the alcohol strength. So you can see there is the desired percentage of alcohol, and what you do is you times it by the total volume of solvent, and it's over the top of the alcohol strength. So don't worry, we're going to look at it a little bit further in a moment. Now here's some great pictures to take you through the step-by-step process that we do when we're actually going through the process of making that fluid extract. So we begin here with the dried herbs, and that dried herbs has the alcohol added to it, and then it macerates these dried herbs. Once they're soaked for a certain period, then we take them out and we strain them, and in there is that mark, and that is that material that's left over. And then that last photo you see is actually the liquid herbal extract that we will use and that you can use for all different things. So our class activity that we'll do when you come on campus is a great one, because you can see here in the photos, you've got the plant, you've got the herbal plant, and you have it when it's actually added with the alcohol. And then you saw the other steps when it's been macerated. So it's a lot of fun, and everyone always loves coming in and doing these ones. With the dried licorice calculation, which is called glycyrrhiza glabra, what we do is we want to make a tincture of 1 in 5 tincture at 25% alcohol. And we're going to use 100 grams of dried licorice. Now, it just depends on what alcohol strength you have or that you're using. In here, we have 4 different types. And you can see if you're using ethanol, the 96% ethanol, then you will use 125 mils of the ethanol and 375 mils of distilled water. Now, depending on the alcohol content, the percentage content, it will go down with you can see the balance changes. In most bottle shops, if you're going to be using vodka, you'll find 40% and 37.5%. So for instance, that last one, the 37.5% vodka, that means that you would use 335 mils of vodka and 165 mils of the water. And all of these make roughly around 300 milliliters of tincture. Now let's pause for a couple of questions. I can see someone's written something in, oh, there it is, in the thing. Why do we use different alcohol strengths for the same tincture? That's a great question. So the alcohol strength, it's affected by certain compounds when they're extracted. So stronger alcohol will pull out more resins and also essential oils, while weaker alcohol is better for water-soluble compounds. So it just means that we are going to adjust them depending on what the alcohol percentage is. Caitlin.
Oh, thank you. I was just wondering what happens if we don't strain out the mark properly or fully.
Oh, good question. Okay. So if the mark isn't fully strained, what it can lead to is spoilage or also inaccurate dosage. So this means that the leftover plant matter may continue to keep breaking down, and that'll affect that extract's clarity and also the potency. So to make sure its proper straining occurs, it's very essential because it keeps that clean and stable product. Some great questions today, and I hope that helps you get started on thinking of all the things you're going to do when you come to campus to make these liquids yourself. So next week, we're going to explore fresh plant tinctures and how they differ from these types of ones with the dried herbs. Don't forget to review your ratios and also terminology for our next session. Thanks, everyone.